Thursday. And this comes after the new board was elected by the Minister of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Blade Nzimande, earlier this year. The launch is an effort to create an increase in awareness on the NSA brand and identity, as well as to promote skills development and training across the country. Joining us now is Thulani Tshefula, who is the acting chairperson of the National Skills Authority. Good to have you, Thulani. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, and good morning to all the viewers of Morning Live. Awesome.
Just give us a little bit of what it is exactly that the NSA does and the role that you play.
Well, the National Skills Authority is a board that is established to advise the Minister of Higher Education and Training on skills development work. Second to that, it has a role of oversight in terms of monitoring and evaluating the work of sitters. It is a board that is constituted by representatives from government, from labor, from business, from training providers, civil society and community organizations.
You know, there's always an emphasis placed on the lack of skills that we find here in South Africa. What would you say is the state of skills, particularly within the youth of South Africa?
The state of skills is still very dire in South Africa. We believe that of all the efforts that are taking place, every workplace should actually be used as a training space. Hence our drive to mobilize sitters to work close with colleges and work close with employers, so that be it a government department, be it a municipality, be it a private company, a factory floor, all workplace should be used as a training space.
Yeah, indeed, which is the ideal situation, but is unfortunately not happening. So how do we get to a situation where, in fact, workplaces are used to develop skills?
Well, one of the things that we are driving is that we must listen to the fears of the employers as to what is it that is blocking them from placing young people into their factory floors, so that they open up their doors and use their workplace as a space for training. And upon hearing what are the fears of the employers, then catalytic investments have to be made to make sure that we mitigate all those challenges and fears that employers have.
Yeah. What sectors have you identified as those that are in, as you put it a bit earlier, in dire straits when it comes to the lack of skills development?
Well, all technical, occupational and vocational skills in the fields of agriculture, in the fields of engineering and related technical fields, all those are in dire need. The manner in which you should look at it is that we have programs and huge investments from government that go into infrastructure development. All those infrastructure development programs will then need the technical and occupational and vocational skills. And that should be the focus of how do we drive a pipeline of developing skills. It should be a pipeline of developing skills so that those who acquire those skills end up in the labor market to utilize their skills productively.
Yeah. We've got a very high unemployment rate here in South Africa, and you know, it's always bizarre in terms of the fact that, you know, we lack skills and there's such a dire need for skills, and yet there's so many unemployed people. How do we hope finding the balance will be met with the National Skills Authority?
Well, interestingly, Leanne, in the launch of the National Skills Authority yesterday, we reflected on the fact that both the Employment Equity Act and the National Skills Act are both 17 years this year. The question we're asking is, to what extent does the Skills Act contribute in our society meeting its target of employment equity? And so what we hope to achieve is that all programs that go with huge investments must provide training to young people, must provide work experience, must provide mass employment opportunities and business opportunities. And we're actually of the view that we do have sufficient resources in the skills development system to can produce enough skills that can work the economy.
Why did you relaunch? Why the relaunch? What led to that?
We saw a high need for the relaunch of the National Skills Authority, so that first and foremost, we unveil the new board which has been appointed by the Minister of Higher Education and Training. Second to that, the National Skills Authority has been living under the cloud of the Department of Higher Education and Training. We never had our own corporate identity. Now we have our own logo as the NSA. Now we have our own website. Now we have our own tools of communication through other platforms. And so we were using the relaunch to call all our stakeholders and say, now here is the new board of the NSA, here is the agenda that this board is preoccupied with, and these are the stakeholders that we hope to work with.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we do hope that you make a great difference with this relaunch and having this so-called almost independence now, as opposed to what it was like previously. So the National Skills Authority, and talking to us here was the acting chair of the NSA, Thulani Tshefula. Thank you again for being our guest, and have a great weekend. It was lovely chatting to you. All right, there you go. That wraps up